Crown are notorious for fault. They are notorious. It's no wonder these were discontinued. Anyway, I got this back out, the lid flipped off. Switch on. Seems to be a timing relay issue with synchronizing the amplifiers with the relaying. So I had to unplug all the interconnector cables out onto it. I'll leave all the other cables on there. That's why I got the lid flipped off and I got it partly out. Don't need to pull it all the way out. So it could be a loose joint, could be a dry circuit joint, could be just that relays are playing up. Some power is unplugged. Now there's a bit of a dog's dinner. Just got to undo this, got to undo that, just to pull the amplifiers out, because they're all nicely kept in a nice sequencing slot order. Bang. Yeah, you should be really careful. I need 2 hands to pull this out. So effectively, if an amplifier were to fail, bloody hell, look at the dust on it. I'll get the vacuum cleaner in and get some of the dust. No, it might be the dust. Every occasionally it needs a cleaning. Not that it really would, I don't think. I don't think it would make any difference to audio files. I mean, bloody hell. I mean, dust is simply all over your home. Unless you've got a home that's got a special sort of filtration, so it kind of is like a white room, clean room, so to speak. Then you look at all these audio files, bloody hell, they stick all their bloody equipment on the bloody floor. A floor is the worst place to put equipment, literally. It's going to be a harvest for dust. Anyway, the last time this had a bit of a suck out was a bit of a while ago. Yeah, so you've got to be pretty careful. There's not many components on here where, you could touch something and get a zap. I wouldn't just bluntly just go in there and start touching these capacitors, because or anything else around that, because you get a zap off and that, I'll tell you, it's not going to be pleasant. I've been sort of curious about one other thing. I know I'll get this back up and running. I know the other amplifier I got in for repair had a faulty component issue go. And it's located, yeah, I think it's these components, these here. These, I think, the other one, they were popping, totally like caked a little bit on some of the components, which are pretty common parts. If I were to find them listed on eBay, they're pretty cheap. But it's a bit of a dog's dinner just to get down to there to do desoldering. The whole lot, the whole assembly just needs to be taken out, and there's no like lid, like they built the chassis so you can take a back panel out and then get onto the underside. No, you've got to strip the whole bloody thing out just to get, and then undo the main board down there just to do this desoldering. I've been kind of curious about why, the amplifiers, they always seem like if I were to put a sine wave signal in, and that is a single sine wave, and all the leads are all fed the same signal from a same output, I'm kind of curious whether the variable resistors there are slightly to do with the voltage output, because they do seem like a tiny fraction dB sort of like out of position. And I'm kind of like looking and thinking, why aren't they all the lights lighting up on the architect remote on the computer? Why aren't they all level? They should be theoretically all at the same level. But, I suspect it's probably a variable resistor. Probably someone a little bit too quick at Harman International They wanted to go on a coffee break, and they didn't do their job very thorough. In fact, Harman International, I would never buy anything that's totally brand new from Harman International. Never. These were second hand. These were just cheap, and I just thought, you know, I know Crown Harman, blah blah blah, but I thought these were just really cheap. I mean, these were ridiculously cheap. And if you think, how do I define cheap? Let's just say if I were to go to a fish and chip restaurant, usually fish and chips on a plate, usually is a little bit more than when you buy it takeaway. And Bournemouth's got the best fish and chips restaurant. It's been voted many years ago, I think 4 or 5 times best in the United Kingdom. And yeah, if you got like a party of say like 5, yeah, the fish and chips would be just a fraction over £100. So that's roughly what these were. But these were, I think, when they were new, would have been about, oh gosh, a couple of grand. But it's amazing how they discontinued so fast, you know. I'm surprised. I loaded a firmware on it the other night. I thought, well, that's unusual. They still got firmware for this. Never mind. You know, all this DSP on it, load of garbage. You don't need it. Because I wonder if they did a model where it's just minus all the DSP garbage trash, because you all you need is an outboard sort of thing, plug in. It does the same functionality. Oh yeah, there's still some more dust in there. I need to get a different hose on the vacuum, so to get in there, a little nozzle, just get in there. So I just look at all the hairs. Wow, I can make a pillow out of that. Oh. Cool bear. I like their dreamy biscuits. Can't believe it today. I was making my breakfast. Patrick just jumps up, grabs it, gets it in his mouth, jumps onto the floor. I had to squish him, take it out of his mouth. Oh, he was growling and snarling, and he wanted that, but epic fail. Wasn't it magic? Hey? Greedy tucks, aren't you? Go on, jump up. No, go on. Psst. You jump up. Psst. Yeah, go on, jump up. Wow. Okay, I could effectively still turn this amplifier on, even minus. It'll just indicate, you know, one amplifier is missing. You swap these amplifiers around because they're all the same and they all do the same, you know. That's the thing, you know. See, there's a relay on here. And I know there'll be several typo, if not inside this. You know, you got the fans at the back applauding. You got all this Dante's Peak and Cobra. What, Cobra? Didn't know Cobra made I didn't know CB radios made anyway, I'm taking the mickey, because I think Harman really crap at engineering this piece of garbage, vampire, timeless, bloody garbage, fucking trash. Unfucking believable. This is all the DSP shit back here, I guess, probably for the you know, all that, because I can see the cables there going down and connecting onto, so that's got to be all the DSP. Really, just rip it out. But yeah, if I did that, got to really know what functionality it's gonna, you know, because I'm sure if you can bypass most of this, you know, just get it functioning. Something like AB there. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Yeah, so these are relays And occasionally I can, you know, I've been clicking this thing on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, just to get a sequence. And it goes up, I have to get up to about maybe 10, 11 times, clicking it on and off, on and off. But it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And then the sequencing is just like, now it's just turning on and then quickly turns off. So the second all the channels illuminate, I'm thinking, oh, finally it's going to turn on. It turns right off. Oh. Let's see if this goes bang. Ooh. Oh, sight turned on there. But no, what's it like? Anyway. That's okay, that's normal. That's just the fans turning on and applauding. I plugged the other amplifier back in. Because it seems like I've got to click it on and off now just to get the flipping sequence. There's something like totally like, could be a dry joint. Maybe if I pull all the cards out and then put them all back in and give them a clean, maybe it's the contacts. Contacts here and contacts here. But, you know, looking at some of them, they look sound. Yeah, so, you know, I think, you know, these are all okay. There's nothing I can see wrong with them. It's just probably the relays are just giving out. Since I'm in it, let's see if I can focus on that. Yeah, I'll just have to take a picture. So I'm going to take a picture of the camera while it's videoing. Yeah, I've got one picture there. And pull it back a little bit. Take another picture. Oh, hold it down steady. Focus a bit. Zoom. Okay, hold it. Hold it. Okay. I've got a good picture there, I think. Okay, there's nothing else on the side, so it's only on the top side, so all I have to do is Google that, identify the component. Looks like a 4/6 pin, is it? What is that, 4 pin? Yeah, possibly a 5 pin. Maybe a 5 pin. So look on the side. My cat. I tell you, cats are creepy. They are really creepy. Yeah, all I get is a click and a click. If I can hear a click again. Yeah, I can see the DSP thing down there. So the fans just rotate fraction. So it seems like everything's not turning on simultaneously and there's some delay with sequencing. It could be from a couple of things. It could be a main other part of the circuitry. Maybe it's undervolting. It's not kicking on. Maybe it's a trigger voltage that triggers it on. Did I see any movement there? Must have imagined it. No, but I see the lights blinking. Ah. Ooh. Ah, that was interesting. See, almost turned on and then off. It's got something to do with the relays, I think. Now I know the other one that's kind of like blown on some of the components down there. Now I'm wondering, this is just like the movie 2001. I suggest we remove some of the components and then replace it It will only be offline for a couple of hours. Just enough time for me to kill you too. That's what the computer's thinking. Or at least the DSP. Yeah, that channel's not coming on. And then it comes on and it's going to go off. Predictable. Bloody hell. Look at it. Look at it. Look at this bloody dust floating around. Unreal. Like I say, it's everywhere. Maybe there's dust in those contacts. You know, possible. Just move the cube around, suck up the dust, like playing a video game. Dust sucks. Goes into a black hole where not even light can escape. Woo! No, this is not going to knacker the amplifier. If I want to knacker it, I'll just take a fucking hammer to it and just smash it up and throw it out the fucking window, and I mean it literally in that order. I'll buy another, maybe buy, I don't know, something a little bit, maybe 4-channel, something high powered, something a little bit more high powered than the Behringers. Just get some 4-channel ones and then just build them up. Or if I find a 8-channel one, or maybe 9, 10, maybe a 12, whatever. Yeah, I'll have another one within a couple of days. I'll just throw this Harman garbage out the window. I have thought about, if I'm going to throw these in the bin, I'm going to smash them up, literally, so no one else can salvage it. Because I don't see why anyone else should go through the bother. I think Harman should have some answering to do for why they failed. Because it's like too many engineers, and it's like too many chefs, and they spoil the broth, and they have spoiled the broth on this. One, it is really lousy. It is garbage. It is bloody heavy, but not as heavy as one of those Onkyo AVRs, which is ridiculously heavy. It's got where's the last transformer on the? Oh yeah, it's there. Well, it's not that large. Bloody hell, the transformer in Onkyo is about that size. I don't know what the bloody hell was it, made of lead and platinum and gold. Bloody hell, it's ridiculous of weight. So that's all the boards pulled out. Bloody hell. And these, you know, these amplifiers, these bits, they got a bit of weight in them as well. So, you know, as it goes now, technically, theoretically, the weight that I can account for, and then all in all these put together, yeah, there's quite a bit of weight there. You know, these boards here, they're going to be pretty lightweight. The main board here connecting down, which is onto these components down here. Oh yeah, and there's more capacitors back there, so that's why don't go in there and start touching things, otherwise you get a zap that could be pretty fatal. Yeah, so they I mean, I like the way, you know, it's designed with the amplifier. So, you know, if an amplifier with a fault, you know, totally, you can just pull it and replace it. But, you know, in this case, the most likely culprit of failed component is the, turn my head torch off, is the relay there. That's most likely on all of them. If I put the other ones in, I mean, this one will turn on, I know that. That's not going to be a problem. But this one, that's been at the base of the rack, has always been kind of a bit of a snag since day one. Well, not day one, actually, more maybe like week 2 or something. And then it's, you know, I noticed something funny going on, and then had to take, well, I had 3 of them all stacked there, so imagine, got to undo all the bloody connectors, all the bloody, you know, flipping heck, just to get to the base. and then pull this out, literally undid all the cables, literally, and put it on the bench. Took everything out, and then while the lid was off, and then powered it back up, and it just turned on again normal. This amplifier, this Crown, has been trolling me. Now I could either go and get the other one, open it up, pull all the amplifiers out on it, put them in. If it does the same thing, then that will filter out likely possibility it may be these that are faulty, because I doubt the other ones will be. And even though the other thing was going bang on it, and I mean it was going like bang, it was arcing, it was like it's just down here, these down here, it's just down there, these components down here, this whole thing just needs to be totally disassembled on the other one, just so I can get to down there and desolder it. Yeah, and there's another relay here, red. That possibly could be. There was no other fault that I could see with the amplifier. The other one that was, and nothing with this. Capacitors look sound. They look sound. I mean, they would have probably decades or so until they totally start failing down. But you never know. Maybe Harman planned it. Harman maybe not doing so very well. You know, they think they try to build something that compete with all the other amplifier manufacturers, and you know, all the other DSP ones and such. And oh dear, really, it's pathetic. I think really it should only be like one type of bloody manufacturer amplifier on the planet. An amplifier is an amplifier at the end of the day. Amplifies your music, your sound, your sine wave, your pink noise, whatever. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about amplifier building, but I think these are transistors, heat sink transistors or such. So pretty common, like I've seen them in everything else. 3 pins and 2 pins on the other one. Or no, not really 3 pins. Actually 3 pins. The pins are being cut, modified or something. You know, there are components in here that's just common. The only thing that's not as common is the board here. The components here, those are common. Resistors, coil, capacitor, I think these ones here, down these little blue ones, they're like a type of capacitor. Yeah, they're all common. They're all common as mud on eBay. So I'll probably do this part 1 video, load it up, and go and get the other one, undo it, pull all the amps out, and then slot them in and see what goes on. If the same thing goes on, then it's possibly this red relay down here. It's something to do with a command. I think if I get my head torching down here. Yeah, I see them. I see the little buggers. So there's 2 little white things down there. That's a couple of more bloody relays, I think. Yeah. And like I say, they're very inexpensive parts. Probably the only big deal bloody making this thing was probably the DSP thing. I mean, all these components here for the I forgot what they're called, similar on Adobe Cinema process and in my SDDS processors and other, you know, they're just also computers. Not sure what they're called, but it's just a slot thing, and that's it. Just like you just slot the card, slot them in, just like this one here. Slot, pull out, slot it in, and then connect up the ribbon track. Yeah, so I'll load this one up, go and grab the other one. I'm gonna have to, not sure where to put it, probably have to put it on the bench and open it up, pull all the cards.